Good guys, my name is Lord Tomy. Welcome again to another Sonic the Hedgehog toy item collector review. As you know, I'm Lord Tomy with the blue sticker, good old Sonic the Hedgehog. The reason why I haven't been uploading too often, I love this game so much. That's probably the actual reason. But let's get into the reviews and make up for lost time, of course. The actual review itself is a Sonic the Hedgehog or Dr. Robotnik by Tomy. I'll probably call it something like that. Sonic the Hedgehog Dr. Robotnik figure by Tomy. That's probably more or less what I'm going to be calling it. As you can probably see, this one is already open as it is. I decided to get another one simply because I felt this needed a more comprehensive outlook of term of the actual item itself. I do have another one of this, which is still in its still sealed in its box and whatnot. This one I just purchased because it's open, so I can show you guys better, more or less. I won't be doing this with every item, of course, just items more or less that require, in my personal opinion, just a little more comprehensiveness in terms of actually discussing this. So this is a 4-pack series. There were 4 released on this particular series. Of course, Tomy has released other ones in the past, but this one in particular, they came with 4. There was a Dr. Robotnik, 2 Sonics with different poses, and a Tails Maya Prowl. I did the Tails Maya Prowl. You can definitely check out the video in my channel, or check out the various other videos that I've done, of course. But it's definitely, I'll just get a better view. It's definitely something worth checking out, of course. So this is the Dr. Robotnik version. Now I'm going to obviously remove it from its backing, but essentially you have, this is the actual backing. It's pretty reminiscent. I can't even articulate the words properly. It's pretty reminiscent of the retro cartoons that was more or less released. I think it was Sonic Sat-AM. No, it was Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm pretty sure that was so. You have the standard obligatory backing. I'm not a big fan of this, but it works. I'm just not a big fan of it. You have, of course, the. Does this have an official name? I'm pretty sure the loop. I'm gonna call it the loop because it's a loop and it loops. You have the standard chicken loop. You can see like little smoke implying that, of course, Sonic over there has taken it. You have the obligatory kind of zone. This is more or less reminiscent on the special zones for those who may or may not know. It's pretty nice to have, and you have a spring, and you have Sonic just jumping up there. Pretty awesome. Ages 3 and plus. This is purely for collectors. It's got no forms of articulation. I will show you, of course. As you can see, Sonic the Hedgehog collectibles by Tomy. You have Dr. Robotnik, which is what I'm going to be referring to. It's not the newest Dr. Eggman, and you have the 2 Sonic poses and the Tails Maya Prowl. You have obligatory information. Complete your collection with all 4 fabulous Sonic figurines. Woo! You have the safety rating made in China and all the fun obligatory stuff out there. It's just a standard 4-pack. It's pretty awesome. That's what it is. It comes in a standard case. There it is. Just take it out. Now, the first thing you'll notice, for those who may or may not be collecting this is a hefty figurine. It's got some major weight onto it, so I can imagine why this probably came off in time, because as time does fly on, the adhesive glue on it would slowly wear out, and this is just a hefty amount. It's literally a big blob of genius, to say the least. I'm not 100% sure how much it weighs, but you can really do some damage if you were to throw this at somebody, which is quite interesting, because Dr. Robotnik is all about hurting people. So, you know, if you have siblings, just toss it on across. No, do not toss things across the room, and do not hurt your fellow siblings with this. This says it's copyrighted 1991 and 1992, so I'm guessing this is more or less when it was released. I could be wrong, of course, but please correct me if I'm wrong, but it was released more or less back then, so it's got a good 20 plus years on it. What I like about this figure in particular is obviously it's Dr. Robotnik. We don't have a lot of figurines out there, except first for figures they have more or less insinuated they're going to be making a statue of this above time. I'm just waiting for that. I'm going to bring this in as close as possible, just so you can get like a better a better look at it. You have his eyes. It's predominantly pink, and his nose is pink. I get why his nose is pink. I don't get why his eyes would be pink. It works, but at the same time it looks weird, completely off. You got his mustache over there. Awesome. Pretty ingenious to have there. You have his standard stock take angry smirk on it. Awesome. I love that. For those who are new to the whole Sonic, franchise and whatnot, this is more or less, to an extent, what the original Dr. Robotnik looked like. Not necessarily in the games, because the games, to an extent, are more reminiscent to Dr. Eggman, if you really want to argue that. But this is more or less reminiscent on the actual cartoon, which is awesome. You have his gloves. You have his purple little bob things, you have his chest, you have his pantyhose, are those called pants? Stockings, let's call them stockings. You have his red boots and awesome. So already as a stand sword, as a display piece, like I said, I'm going to give this one away, like there's no point in having two, so you know, whatnot. But as a display piece, this looks so awesome, so menacing, it's always great to have. On the actual side, you can actually more or less get the visual impression. Little trivia, in the original Sonic, they actually want to call him Dr. Eggman, not Dr. Robotnik, or say they localized that as Dr. Robotnik in the western suburbs. So technically, if you want to argue, he's technically meant to be referred to as Dr. Eggman, but that's a whole different ball game, and of course nobody really wants to get into that fandom of discussion. So you can essentially see how he looks like an egg, thus referred to Dr. Eggman. So he's pretty fat and pretty unmobile, which is quite ironic for those who played Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive. You actually have him running against Sonic to jump into his robots and he can actually escape. So yeah, he's pretty fat there. You got his big butt there. You have like another little shape, kind of gives it this image of egg shape. You have his boots, you have his head, and yeah, look, this is by far one of the best, until proven wrong in the future, one of the best figurines in terms of, it's not play, it's just purely just for standing purpose figurines. So it looks impressive, looks awesome. I literally cannot, I was so excited to actually get this. So it's one of those pieces where if you're a Sonic, look, to be a Sonic fan, in my honest opinion, you gotta like the good with the bad. Literally, Sonic is the good, Dr. Robotnik or Eggman, whatever you want to call it, is the bad. So you need to have a Dr. Eggman somewhere, even if it's a Jazzware toy. So I think it's part of the collection. Honestly, it is. But yeah, the paint apps generally is awesome. You do have, I'm not 100% sure if you see it, kind of an elapse paint app, as in there's one layer and then put another layer on. You can really tell that's custom made, which I think is awesome, because they actually bothered to make it custom made. Get in, my fellow robotnikness. So yeah, so that's that. Let's whack that there. Now, in terms of rarity, look, I'm probably going to have to throw this up there, 7 stars out of 10, simply because these ones, it depends on the packaging, of course. Obviously, if it's not mint or mint, it really comes down to that. So if it's mint, I'm probably going to say 7 stars out of 10. I'm not 100% sure how wanted this item is. I don't know if this is like a super must get for collectors. I personally wanted it, that was me. So if it's something that super hardcore collectors want, they'll most likely have it. If you're just a passive, not into it. So I'm just going to give it 7 stars out of 10. Give me your opinion on that. How much I got this? The first one that comes in its box, I got it for, I think, $40 plus shipping. This one I got in a set. I got this one, a towels, and the 2 Sonics, the ones at the back, which I will review in corresponding times. And I got it all up, surprise to price, for about $60. A real awesome bargain. I got it from Jordan. Who would have thought that in Jordan they'd appreciate Sonic? But yeah, guys, tell me what your thoughts on this. I found this item to be extremely awesome to have, especially if you're a fan of the, you know, the nemesis and, you know, the villains and all that stuff, like I am. You know, what's so good about the heroes without a decent villain? And this guy's being persistent. This guy actually teaches you something. No matter how many times you fail, you just keep on fighting. Come on, what kind of villain also is that? Unless you want to argue Ratchet and Clank and all that. Anyway, guys, thank you for checking out this review. Please stay tuned. I will make more reviews to make up for the weeks that I have not. So if you're interested about that, or have a request of specific items you think I may or may not do, by all means hit me up. I'm more than happy to do so. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out my videos. Speed on. Take care.